Good afternoon and welcome back. This is Nuke Marine here with the Hiragana Lesson 2. Again, these are based heavily upon the James Hazig Remembering the Kana book. And in this case, this is continuing part 2. We've already learned about 8 or 9 characters in addition to what was called a Glottal Stop. And we'll be continuing on from there. Uh, just mention is that when you do these lessons, they take about a half hour each. What's recommended is that you either do once a day for all 12 lessons, then take 12 days, or if you need to, split it up, like do one lesson in the morning, one lesson in the afternoon. In addition to, don't forget, every day do those reviews in Anki and to review everything you have up to that point and to physically write it out. Like I said, write out those reviews by hand. If you get it wrong, well, make your correction and then mark it wrong, and they'll be coming up later. Might make another video to kind of make it more efficient on how you utilize Anki, at least how I view as efficient. And you want to get real comfortable with the program because we'll be getting into it even more so when we get into kanji, grammar, and vocabulary, on top of also studying using Japanese dramas. All right, so let's begin. Our first character for this lesson, what we're going to do, let me just write this down, is a RI. Now, this is not Rai, but Ri. Now, here's where I need to do something. So, this was explained by Tofugu, and I kind of liked it, so here it is. Finish this thing. 'Tis the season to be jolly. And some of you should say fa la 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 la. So, instead of fa la 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 la, try to say fi li 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 li. So, when you do it, it's like fi di 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 li di di. When you get to the end, you stop saying li, you start mixing the L-I and the R-I, more like a li. It's almost like an L and R mixed together. Almost with a little bit of a T sound in there, but ri. So what this is pronounced is ri. If you take in Spanish class, ri. Almost like a sharp roll of the tongue. Ri. Now that horse has been beaten to death. And what we want to do is think of ri. I want you the keyword here. In other words, when you hear ri, think of reaper or grim reaper. So this is ri as in read, ri. So think of read and iri instead of iri. So it is really the word doesn't, the pronunciation doesn't exist in the English language, probably in some of the other foreign languages to me at least. So, but anyway, think of, when you hear ri, think of reaper, grim reaper. So yeah, the grim reaper. All right. In this case, we're going to come back with a Little Red Riding Cape. All right, so there she is, a Little Red Riding Cape there's her cape. Now, in this case, she's kind of changed her job. Instead of delivering the food back to her mom, she's wanting to take to her grandmother, kind of avoiding the big bad wolf. Now she wants to go take on a job as a Grim Reaper. Maybe because it's helpful to take the soul of the bad wolf, whatever. So anyway, what you want to do is draw the cape. Now, remember for the Reaper, he's got that nice little sickle, and for a scythe or whatnot. But scythe. So come back up here and a very long stroke. Now let's compare this. Here's E, and here's V. Okay, so that second stroke's just longer, more pronounced curve to it. In addition, let me just make sure, what you'll be seeing in some depending on the font, is you'll see it sometimes connected like that, and then this part it just is. So you don't write it like that, but you may see it written down depending on the font a computer will use. And all you do is this as if the pen hasn't been picked up in that small part right there. So that's ri. Now, some words that use it. Let's think of is riku, heri, nori. Just a reminder, if we did something like this, instead this becomes rigu, beri, nori. Beri, nori. All right. And that would be ri. All right, and there we have is our first one, ri. Keyword being the Grim Reaper. Here, ri, think Grim Reaper. Think of the Grim Reaper with the low red riding cape and the long sickle. All right, our next word. This one's going to be kind of unusual. Again, it's one of those. It's going to like Ri. It's going to be something that doesn't exactly exist in the English language. Um, Here it is. You probably can guess it. If you can say tsetse fly or tutsu fly, itsu, tsunami, it's a T and an S mixed together. Tsu, tsu. And the key word here we're going to use is the number 2. But don't think of 2, think of tsu. So it's tsu sticks or tsu books. Tsu something. I'll probably kind of bastard at tsu. Reason being is look at this first curve of tsu. And if you look at tsu, if you look down, that's tsu. And it kind of, if we add a little stroke, it kind of sort of looks like the 2 or the tsu. So the key word, tsu. Again, for pronunciate, think if you know tsunami, which is a Japanese word, but tsu or itsu, it's up. Just think of, if you think of like it's up there, it is up there, it's up there, tsu, it's tsu. Some words that use this. Kutsu. Scroll down a bit. Koitsu. Atsui. Atsui. Now, let me scroll down here and show you. Okay, down here. Okay. Now, just like you had this is the cut line. Now, this is a t line, so ta, but this one and this one here, for what you would think would be T and 2, it's different in Japanese. So what we're going to say is right here that instead it's going to be the tsu. So we will put the su in here. Su. So it's like the T and U, but it's su, so TSU. And if you notice, we got a nice little, this is actually a glottal. So we'll go up here and deal with that. So about the glottal. When you do this, it turns this su into a, bear with me here, z, like a D and a Z mixed together, z. So instead of kutsu, it would have been kudzu. So let's say we had this. So this would be kudzu. And in fact, maybe sometimes, I'm sorry, sometimes the strokes would be right. Going in the other direction. So koidzu, koidzu, and also if we wanted to, atsui, atsui. So we had the tsu or the zu. All right, and so here we are. We got the tsu with the keyword tu or tsu, and then zu. Now I'm gonna have to take a second to explain. There's sort of like we had the glottal stop. Now this tsu does something a little unusual, in that if we looked at something like let's say right here, if it were in Japanese, kapan or whatever, kopan. This right here, maybe I'll even do a better word. But if you got a double syllable, what it creates is the in fact, I think all this time I've been given the wrong thing. Instead of it, these little things right here are not glottal stops. These are voiced marks. So I'm probably going to get nailed to the wall for that video since I kept calling these glottal stops. This coming up is the glottal stop. So here's what's going to happen. You have the su here, right? What you'll find in Japanese in kana is written a little small su here, and this is the glottal stop. Now, what that means is, if it's written here, it'll be almost written like a double character, with the exception of n, with the exception of double n's, but a double character, and it would appear. So, for example, so what it would look like if I wrote this here, N-I-K-K-U. It's not Niku, it's Niku. So there's a small pause and then a start pronunciation of the next syllable. So it'll be written as ni. Then we'll draw the small little s, which is the glottal stop, and then the ku. So instead of niku, it would be niku. Additionally, if we had k o k k u, ko, koku, koku. Instead of koku, koku. Last example, if we had the and this is probably not a real word, but ribe. Instead of ribe, ribe. It's a very slight pause. When you listen to enough Japanese and you start seeing this, you'll begin getting an ear for it. Hence, part of the reasons for doing Japanese is you need to listen to a lot of Japanese, natural Japanese videos, movies, TV shows, just to get an ear for it. Start listening to it. So, because you got to start getting your mind attuned to these sounds that you've gone your entire life without hearing, and this becomes very important. So again, that was the small suit. So apologies from the last video. I kept calling this the glottal stop. It was the voice mark. So I'm probably have to go through the video and make annotations. Sorry, my apologies. Gomen nasai, moshiwake arimasen, moshiwake arimasen. Just please don't kill me for making this big mistake. Anyway, so that's for the glottal stop. Alright, so now that we covered the glottal stop, what will be going on now is for the next character. This one shouldn't be as difficult. Here's how it looks. Now, this is the sound, as the words he gives is like or LDM. I was thinking like someone just hit you. Soft U sound. Uni, uts. I can't think of any words right at the moment. The reason why... Now, here's the unusual thing for the story, was that what Hazy gave was a couple of words. It was and undine. These were two German cities. And the reason why he was thinking of think of and undines. This goes, instead of, think back to Charles Dickens. Imagine Charles Dickens and the underwater cities. Underwater cities. So here's what we're going to do. What we're going to do is introduce you to this nice little stroke here. Right there. This is a small little stroke. And when we do this, what we're going to think about is think of either a cat tail or a puppy tail. Probably a puppy tail is better. Something nice, short and small. Puppy tail. And when you think of think of the tail of the tail. Think of puppy tail of tsu. So instead of two cities, it's tsu cities. So remember the tsu. So we're going to do the tail of tsu. And instead of being like tsu, we're going to kind of stretch it up down a little bit longer. So puppy tail. So we're doing that little strokes coming back and catching it and continuing on. So it looks kind of like the number 2. In fact, this looks more like a 2 than the previous one did. But a tail of tsu cities. So you think of you can think of 2 underwater cities. Some words that use this. Uni. Utsu. Niao. So uni, utsu, niao. And just to be different, if I did this, utsu now becomes uzu. And there's no place to practice the glottal stop yet, so we won't do that yet. So those are some words. Again, like I say, write these down. Whenever you do your practice in Anki, write them down also during your practice. Get all the writing practice you can. You've got to make up a couple dozen years in a short amount of time, and might as well get the most efficient manner possible. So get this into your system as quick as you can. Alright, so here's the 3 characters we've covered so far this lesson. Let's go on to the next one. Now, just like Su is... If you ever looked at some old versions of Romaji, the Roman characters that are used to represent Japanese pronunciation. The tsu was written like, sometimes written like this, tu, but since tu doesn't exist, and they just knew that it was pronounced su. Same thing. This does not exist. T is not a pronunciation that's used in Japanese. And what it's going to be pronounced is like written down like this. Chi. That's chi as in cheetah, handkerchief, cheese. In fact, the key word here we're going to be using is for chi is cheese. Because here's what's going to happen. Imagine you eat cheese, okay? So when you want cheese, what you're going to do is you want a slice of cheese. So what you're going to do is get your dagger, right? So draw that dagger out. And then what you want is, you decide you don't want one slice, but tsu. So the tsu slices of cheese. So here's the, let me do the stroke orders again. Here's actually, this last stroke is all one stroke, but tsu. So finish off the dagger and then complete the tsu. And this becomes chi. So that's stroke 1, that's stroke 2. Alright. Even though it's dagger in the number tsu. So, tsu, chi. Chi. Cheese. Dagger for tsu, slices of cheese. Now, if we go down and look at some words that use this, if we want to, is the that's nice because you can see them. Suchi. Suchi. Nochi. Chin. And just for fun, let's see if we do this. If I did something like this, instead of being suchi, it's become suchi. Note chi. Slight glottal stop. Let me get rid of those real quick. Now, we'll come back up. We'll come down to our little list down here. Now, look right here. Here's the T line. So, T and I, but we know it's not T, it's chi. So, we're going to write the chi in here. The reason why I'm showing you this, if you look below it, yeah, there is a bit of a there is a pronunciation to it. So let's go back up and we'll cover this real quick. So what happens if I take the chi and add this? And then instead of being chi, it sounds more like a ji. G as in Jeep. So chi becomes G. Jeep. In fact, there's another symbol when it adds the voice mark. It also becomes G. So G as in Jeep. Genie. I dream of genie. Jeep. Simple as that. So chi or G. So these words. If I went here, suji, suji, noji, jin. Suji, noji, jin. So here's our 4 characters we covered now. We're ri, tsu, chi, and z, ji is in there. So let's go on to the next character. Okay, just like, so here we go. It's a R, A. Everything in these lines are more like just like the ri is more like a mixture between the li and ri. So mixture of l and I. Same thing with here. It's more like a ra and a la. So ra. So again, 'tis the season to be jolly. Fa da la da 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 da. Yeah, near the end, you almost are making this pronunciation. Da da da. And in fact, the key word we're going to say is, here's going to be, imagine you're at a baseball game and everyone is yelling ra ra da 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 shish boom ba da da da. Right? That's what we're doing. That's the key word here, because that's what's going to happen is they're doing rah rah. Here's what's happening is that when you're hearing this rah 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 and you look around, you're seeing these people are in the stands, all right? And you notice one thing is that you notice all these small little puppy tails, maybe with the puppy still attached, but right now all these puppy tails are tied to this stick, and this stick are being waved by people yelling rah rah rah. But these, you notice that they're very enthusiastic because they don't have just one stick; they have 2 sticks. So puppy tail, stick, s. But here's the actual stroke order. It's just 2 strokes. So ra, ra, ra. Okay. And if you notice, for any of those that like to use the kanji pictographics little book they have, and there will be a person will be here. He'll draw a nice little cute little rabbit over the ra. What remember though, we're not trying to show you to just recognize this hiragana or katakana characters. What we want you to be able to do is, based on hearing ra, ra, can you draw this character from memory? Because if you can draw from memory, then recognize it when you see it is almost going to be a no brainer. It's going to be of no consequence. It's going to be that much easier. It's more difficult to go from me only to able to recognize to recreating. You can probably recognize somebody's face, but if I give you some crayons, you're probably not going to be able to draw this person in a recognizable format. So this is what we're trying to do, though: get you from the sound to producing this character here. Hence the importance of these keywords. Da da da. Two people, sticks, waving at the shell. They've got two sticks, waving puppy tails, maybe with the little puppies attached. Okay, so that's ra. That's ra as in rocker. So here we go. Some words that use this. Do some pronunciation before I do it. Hera, hera. Ran. Hetsurao, hetsurao. And just for fun, if we want to, hetsurao. If I did this, bera, hetsurao, bera. Now that we're continuing, also, so let me finish that up real quick, and I'll go on to the next subject. Okay, we're at our 5th character here, so let's bring in. Sorry about the jump, but let's bring in ra, da, da, da. Next character we'll be covering. Write it down for you real quick. And this kind of sounds like exactly how it's written in English. So ta, tatami, top, tick-tock, ta. The story here is not too difficult. What you want to do is think of, in fact, the keyword that you can do is top. Now that's top as in to spin a top, like the little toy. And here what you're going to do is you're going to be kind of creative. You're a fancy top spinner. So you're so good you can spin anything on anything. So what you're going to do is you're going to show that, yes, I'm going to take this dagger here and watch as I then spin this comb on top of that dagger like a top. So dagger, comb, ta. Dagger. So here's the actual stroke orders. It's actually 4 strokes. Ta. Some words that use it. Intai. Intai. 4 characters there. Taco. And there it's nice side by side because you can see the comb here and the comb there in the writing order. Tachi. Tachi. Now, just as might as well show you right now. It's in the T line, so we put ta right here, and look below it, there is that voice mark. In this case, you notice it now actually has the what one would think is a harder sound. So ta becomes, the t becomes d. So the ta becomes da. So if we did this, it sounds like da, as in dot, dada. Not day, but da. So if I did this for all these, it would be endai, dako, dachi, dago, daji, da, ta, da. Practice those words. And again, when you're doing your reviews, the deck cards I made up, unfortunately, weren't designed with these voice marks or glottal stops in there, because I was going straight off the Hazig's books and the words he was giving to help review. it's no stretch to where when you see these, kind of create the practice yourself as you go along. Do you become comfortable with it? All right. So here's our 6 characters so far, in addition to 3 additional, and our nice little glottal stop we've thrown into this, making this lesson a little longer than we expected. Again, these are meant to be 20-30 minute lessons, but because of these adaptations I've made, does stretch out these initial lessons, but I think it's a bigger benefit instead of getting all this information tossed to you at the end. Now, our next character covering up. So here's our next character we'll be covering. Again, it sounds kind of like what you have in English pronunciation, sa. Sod for fertilizer. He also gives some. So if you ever heard samurai, it's actually samurai. So sock is about the easy one. In fact, the key word here is going to be sock. And we're also going to be doing something a little different is in this story. Remember how we had the comb? Well, if we took away, let me just do something cute. If we took away that top part and just looked at this small little bottom curve, we're going to think of that as this being a little hairpin. Okay. So anyways, here we have a sock. Now imagine what it is this. You have this crazy lady. Maybe the lady who likes to put the combs in her hair to hold the bun up, but she's kind of crazy. So what she needs is she wants longer hair. Maybe her hair fell out. Who knows? Well, anyway, what she's going to do is she's going to use a sock as a hairpiece. And being the weird lady she is, what she's going to do is use this little dagger here. Actually a little dagger here. Nice. Notice a little stroke there. And she's going to use that to stick the sock to her top of her hair. And then the bottom of the sock she's going to then pin into place with the hairpin. Now let me show this again. This is what's actually happening. There. Okay, it's all, but that middle part, just like with the Ko or the couple other characters, is that you're picking up the pin when that happens. So you don't see it. So it looks like, this looks like the stroke order you're seeing. It looks like 3 strokes. Okay. Sometimes, depending on the font of the computer, you'll see it as 1 stroke, almost like a backwards chi, but it's sa. So think of the dagger and the hairpin, and that's what's happening. Sa. So let's think of some words that use sa. Sa, Sada, Kusai, Kesa. Sada, Kusai, Kesa. And yes, glottal stops can work in here. So Kusai, Kesa. Instead of kesa. Sada. Kusai. Again, these may not be legitimate words. I'm just trying to give you examples. Since I'm too lazy to actually look up real words. Apologies ahead of time. And if we look up down here under this S line. In fact, this is the first little S line we filled out. So here's the sa, right? It would go in here. When these can be voiced, so when we voice it, the s becomes more of a z, so the sa becomes za. So if we go back up here and add some voice marks to this, so this za. As in, only thing I can think of for Zod is General Zod from Superman. However, Za, so Zada, Kuzai, Keza, or if you want to, Geza, Guzai, Zai. So Sa and Za. With that, you've learned we're coming that much closer to completing the lesson. Alright, and as we approach the 30-minute mark, we've gotten up to, let's see, 7 characters plus 4 others that extend our little knowledge of the kana. Last character for this lesson, then we'll go into a review, is K-I, key. Actually sounds like lucky, key, keystone, that type of key. K-I, key. For this, the word, in fact, we're going to use is key. The key word is key. Reason being is just imagine a little key here, right? And right there, that's the key. And what's going to happen is at the bottom of this key is what we're going to happen is you're going to have a samurai. And what he wants to do is present a hairpin to his girlfriend. And being the samurai, what he'll do is he's going to take out a sword. Now, what's a sword? Well, here's a dagger, right? Kind of like from the dagger used for the sock. Well, a sword will have two strokes. So whereas the dagger had the one little handle, a sword needs two handles for both hands. Okay, and what he's going to do is take that sword down upon that key, and then create the little hairpin for his mistress. Maybe the lady needs to use it for the sock. Who knows? But so it's going to be two stroke. Here's the actual stroke order minus the story. So you think of key, think of the bottom key being presented as being cut with a sword to be used as a hairpin. So stroke 1, 2, 3, 4. And like saw, that last stroke, what you may see, depending, you don't write it this way, but you may see it written where that stroke is connected. But for you, you'll pick up your pen, and it still goes in that same flowing pattern, but you'll have your pen picked up and completed. Key, key. Some words that use key. Kiri. Iki. Aki. Kiri, Aki. Now, if you've remembered K, Ku, and Ko, when they become voiced, it becomes Ge, Gu, Go. So, if Ki is voiced, what do you think it becomes? Gi. Gi, as in karate gi. Gigawatts, I get. And instead of gigawatts, think of gigawatts. Who knows? Instead of genie, gi. So yeah, gi. Ki becomes gi. So this is now pronounced giri, as in the giri giri voice. Igi, agi. And it's as simple as that. And with that, we'll have the final character. Alright, that's pretty much completing of Lesson 2. So we've covered all these characters. Ri as in Reaper, Tsu, keyword Chi, Tu. Ki, if we voice it, becomes karate gi or baggy pants, gi, za, dot. So we covered all that. And if you look down here, what I've been doing is this nice little chart I've been drawing in, kind of filling in the characters as we learn them. So we're about 1/3 of the way done for hiragana. Just a couple of things. What this will be doing is what we call as the alphabetical order. So let's, for right now, I won't complete it, but I'll just start it off for us. Think of this song. Frère Jacques, dormez-vous, donos las matines, din din don. So think of that tune, or Brother Jacques, brother, bum 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 bum. So right now, think of this one right here, and just for the ah line. So ah, ka, sa, ta, ah, ka, sa, ta. In fact, say it again, ah, ka, sa, ta, and sing it. Get into your head, sing it. Next lesson, I'll add in all these other characters. The idea being is ultimately we'll be teaching you how to fill in all this from memory. It's going to be helpful because it's what's termed as the dictionary order. All right, thank you very much for listening. This is Nuke Marine. I'll see you in Lesson 3.